All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show where you get the best NBA DFS picks each and every day. Today we have a nice 7-game slate here, joined as always with chrissair DFS. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Excited for this slate. We got Westy on the cover. As Dinda puts it, DFS is easy. Lock Westy and win, right?
I mean, yeah, on DraftKings, but maybe not FanDuel.
Is that just a DK strategy then?
Yeah, I mean, FanDuel is viable as well, but he's always a little more expensive. I think he's 12K there now, so pretty big difference from DK, but still a really good play. I mean, he's a stud.
Yep. Are you excited for this slate, Chris?
We also have MMA soon.
Yeah, what time is that? Is that half an hour or what time?
Right now it's in an hour and a half.
Hour and a half? Okay, so we can probably wrap it up. You want to build your multi-entry tournament builds, right? Or build?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll be done before then. We always are.
Nice. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's see who got here in the chat first. So Brent was here first bright and early here. I think not that early, actually. 3 minutes before the show started. What's up, Brent? Rain's in here. New Crunch member joined, I think, like 3-4 days ago. So good to see you in here, man. T-Bay is in here as well. He says, "Who is the clown on the cover?" I'll leave that one for you, Chris. What do you have to say about that?
Just put it up real quick. Let's see greatness in the flesh.
Put what up real quick?
Cover. That's what he just said.
Oh, there.
Yeah, there it is. See greatness in its flesh right there. Number 4 for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah. I replied to him in the chat. I said top 3 point guard in the last decade. You should know. Top 3, that's not too much of a stretch, is it?
I don't know. I'm not good with the rankings.
Maybe top 5. Top 5 is safe. Top 5 is safe. 3 is tight. I don't know. Top 3, but I'd say top 5. He should be there. I can't imagine 5 guys above him in the last decade. Can you?
I mean, the only guy that really comes up to my head is Steph Curry, who's clearly above, but yeah, not much else. Maybe Chris Paul, but I mean, no ring, just like Westbrook. So yeah, I'd take Westbrook, but Curry's cleared number 1.
Exactly. I'm with you there. Maybe Kyle Lowry, Chris.
No, not Kyle Lowry.
He has a chip.
I don't think that matters much.
Mr. Toronto. He's going to get a statue, like Hasty said.
Still, I mean, I don't think it matters much.
Yeah, Brent replied. He said, "Heard he likes the stuff, the stat sheet, the cover guy that is." Rondo says,
I heard.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I heard something like that as well.
Yeah, Rondo here. He says Brody over 77.
I don't know about that one, but I mean, you said last decade, so I mean, 77 has only been in the league for what, 2-3 years now, so.
Yeah,
I'd still take Westbrook ahead of him for the last decade. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, he's been around longer. Brent says, "Hair on fleek, Chris. You're a little late today." Making your hair extra sharp, hey?
I'm always here at the same time, like 1 minute after the show starts.
Yeah, like an atomic clock, right? Always on time.
Mm-hmm.
T-Bay says, "My God, Russ has my old high school number. That number is dead to me now. Number 4 is not cool anymore."
Yeah, he used to be TB4. That's what we called him back in the day.
TB4?
Mm-hmm.
He was playing well yesterday, street ball. You were playing well. You look very agile, Chris. I don't know what you did, but you looked good. It's maybe you're doing some stair training, ladder training, some lateral training. I don't know what it was, but I don't know. You had like a Euro step. You had a nice drive package, slasher package. It was good.
Yeah, I got T-Bay pretty bad with the Euro one time. I'll admit that. He'll probably admit that as well. I got him good.
Do you even need a Euro on Thomas, though? It's like,
I mean, I got him.
It's a height difference. Rondo says, best point guards wear the number 4 jersey. Russ number 4, Caruso 4, Rondo 4.
Yeah, Rondo, yeah.
Yeah, and
sure.
Then one more thing. Rondo says, you've been hitting up the sand dunes.
Yeah, I have. For
your lateral training. Yeah, let's pull up the success, Chris. We got Biscuit here. Let's pull up his, yeah. Let's pull it up quickly.
He is definitely the reason that triplet in that position, and we haven't seen Gasol yet.
Oh my God, it was still stuck in my head. Gonna be stuck for the rest of the show now as well. But yeah, he was Biscuit here. First post of the day yesterday. $71 into 106, 107. And then another one here, $1 into $2. So solid stuff out of him. Chris, right here, that's you. FanDuel, 1,400 into 1,900. Solid stuff there. Looks like you probably hit your cash, but lost some tournaments or some triple ups or something like that. I don't know what you enter.
Yeah, I probably lost some tournaments because there were some high scores like Kelly Olynyk. He got like 55. Bogey got 60 something. So there were some high scores, but I like the build here. I thought it was a solid one.
Yeah, and then T-Bay wants this one, so I'm just going to send it right there for him. Other one here, DK, 1416 to 1700. Let's just round it like that. 1500 to 1700 pretty much on DK. So similar story there, Chris, as well.
Yeah. So I pivoted away from the optimal. It was just Caruso versus Augustine. I went Augustine, just wanted him, felt a little safer because Caruso had the questionable tag. It was like a 0.01 difference between the two teams. Caruso ended up getting a last-minute dunk, put him on top. He finished with like 1 fantasy point more. So that kind of bumped me down like $1,000 because that was a pretty big train. This team was also a pretty big train. But still able to make some profit here. Posted my parking money yesterday.
Yeah, you usually don't post these, actually. I was going to say, I'm surprised you posted your... This isn't parking money, it's parking ticket, Chris. Parking money is like break even.
Oh, well, yeah.
Parking's not that expensive. It's not $300 to park your car, Chris. It's like...
Monthly parking.
Oh, the monthly early bird parking special pass?
Yeah, especially in New York, it's very expensive.
Yeah, I've also heard, like, I don't know if it's in China or some, like, Asian countries, they have really expensive parking. It's like almost the cost of like an apartment to park your car in the city.
Yeah, I think they have that in like Singapore, so people don't drive cars as much, take more public transportation.
Yeah, disincentivize cars. Make it only for the rich, Chris. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tiger Blood up here next, 137 into 303. This is baseball action main slate on DK, and then NBA action DK main slate, 127 into 267. So solid stuff out of Tiger over here. Love to see it. Turn and burn 477.25 into 1095.67. So doubled up there pretty much, $500, a bit more than 500. Was that 500? 600? Almost 600. So solid stuff there. This is baseball main slate. Only 2 emojis, so I'm kind of surprised, Chris. What's going on here?
He got a lot of, a lot of people clicked on it.
It's just
that's good stuff.
The emojis?
No, the results, the lineup.
Yeah. And then Nick, what did he do? Some NBA stuff on DK, double ups, tournaments, more double ups, more tournaments, MLB double ups, some tournaments, more double ups and tournaments. So solid stuff out of him. Love to see it. He's been posting like every day here. He's been killing it. Yeah, him and Rondo, they play a lot of slates, a lot of sports, so super active. I love to see that. And then here is a tournament win here. NASCAR cars, Chris. Was it already up today?
Yeah, trucks, I think.
Trucks. Have you watched trucks?
Xfinity.
If I want to watch trucks, what do I search for? For like highlights.
Trucks. NASCAR trucks.
Trucks, NASCAR. I'll watch them after the show. Okay. And then, so 22 into 45 here. Trucks, solid stuff. Wait, you said this isn't trucks?
No, that's Xfinity.
What's Xfinity? What did they drive there?
Cars, just a lower. It's not the Cup. It's lower tier.
Got it. 8 in here, 57, 157. Main slate NHL FanDuel. Baseball main slate 57, 133. NBA main slate 57, 108. And then DK baseball main slate 50 to 100. Basketball single game slate This one, first place, 25 cents into $21. So that's really nice. Shout out to Aiden there. Yeah, remember he used to not play tournaments. Now he's playing tournaments. That's awesome. And then NHL on DK, $26. $10.26. So we have that there. But yeah, Aiden's been grinding his way up. Bankroll management on point. Growing. Next season should be a good one for him for DFS. Well, actually, it's ongoing, right? Because after NBA, we have baseball. What else do we have? I've asked this before.
Football.
Baseball, football, then NBA. So yeah, awesome. Let's load up your lineups, Chris. Quickly go over those like we always do so we can see what we did, what your thought process was for yesterday's slate, and then we can get into today's slate. So yeah, let's go over your DK one, Chris. 1460 into 1672 over here. Here it is. Yeah, what happened here? How come you didn't cash higher? Because you did win, but not quite. Didn't hit all your entries, contests.
Yeah, so I pretty much said it before. It was just Caruso versus Augustine. You can see in 30th place. That's the Caruso train. So that one kind of bumped this train down a little bit. Obviously, I still won, but like I said, it cost me like $1,000. That last dunk by Caruso. But yeah, just that was the only decision here on DK. We had the Houston guys. They were all chalky because of the injuries they had. So we had to get Augustine in there. Or I'll say this, because we originally had Caruso in there. I mean, he was there. He was still in the optimal after we got Augustine starting by 0.01 projection points. But yeah, I switched to Augustine, just thought he was a little safer because he was starting. Caruso was questionable at the time. I thought that Caruso was going to play. Still, just felt a little safer going Augustine here. He had a really good game. He was 3K. So I left 1K on the table with this lineup. But as you can see, a bunch of other good players did that as well. I think this was also a train in 41st place. But yeah, that was the only decision.
Nice. Do you want to go over anyone else here, Chris?
No, like I said, it was just I mean, we could go to 30th place. It's just the Caruso team.
Oh, our boy Reigns
so
here. Is that him?
Yeah, probably. I mean, all signs lead to it being him.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. Let's go over... Oh, yeah. I mean, Scotty here as well. All the sharp players, Chris. A lot of sharp crunchers here. Sharpest in the industry. Love it. Yeah, let's load up your FanDuel next. So this one's 1,400 into almost 1,900. Let me open up a new tab. Yes, here it is. So you're up here, Chris, in this contest. But I think still here, 14. Yeah, so didn't quite hit all your contests. What happened here? What was what did you need to go your way?
Just tournaments, because you have lower ownership in tournaments. So someone like Luka isn't going to be 72% owned in a tournament. He's probably going to be 30% owned. He went for 35, 11K. So that's not good. Then you have studs or not studs, but you have guys in the mid-range like Olynyk going for 55. So that kind of nullifies Embiid. But yeah, we can take a look at 360 because that was the original team before we got Augustine starting.
61?
Yeah, 61.3, that one. Yeah, so it was a 2v2 here. So on the left, what I had was Augustine McCollum, and then the original team before the Augustine starting news was DeLon Wright and Armani Brooks. So yeah, I made the swap just because Augustine was starting. I felt safer with him. Armani Brooks is usually an exercise guy, but I mean, he went for 40 here, had 4 stocks, 19 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. So he had a really good game. That was the original team. I made the swap, like I said, because I felt safer with Augustine starting. The props were a little better on CJ than DeLon Wright. Obviously, DeLon Wright played better. But yeah, I wanted to make the swap. I thought it was the right move, but obviously the other side did better. But yeah, I like the build here a lot. We got Embiid. He was pretty low owned in like 100-man 50-50s. He was like 12% owned. A lot of people went Bamba, Olynyk as well. They were chalky. So like I said, Bamba went for 47. Olynyk went for 55. So kind of nullified Embiid's performance here. But yeah, I like the build here.
Yeah. Rondo says he's been grinding all his life. I don't know if you see the chat here. I'm not sure if Hasty's throwing some shade at him or what. But there's a lot of chat here, so I'm not actually sure what that comment's. But yeah, we got Carlo in here as well. Hasty's in here, joined just now, I think. Steven here as well. What's up, guys? Let's get into the slate, Chris. So yeah, seven games here. Multiply that by 2, 14 teams to choose from, Chris. Basic math right there. We got Westy, first game of the slate, so that's good to see. Covered boy. What are your favorite games here today?
I'm just reading the chat here. I'm trying to figure out what you were saying. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so we have the Raptors here. We have the Nuggets against Brooklyn, so that's a pretty good matchup. But yeah, those are my favorite teams to target. Rockets as well. There's some news that we're waiting on. I think they have some questionable guys, so we can go back to the well if Jayshawn Tate is out. I mean, we're still going to go back, but there's some other news here, like Olynyk, he's questionable. So if he's out, that would be big. If he's in, he'll definitely become a play once again. So we'll have to kind of wait and see.
Rondo says, I'm 190 pounds now. Gonna have to post you up. Response. But Hasty's question, can you be grinding from your parents' basement? What do you think about that, Chris? Question of the day here.
Sure, why not? I mean, like, if you're just going to be living alone, like, I mean, what's the difference? You're adding on to your expenses. I mean, it's a very old school mindset to have like that. Like, oh, you have to move out when you're 18. Like, okay, then what? It's like, okay, now I'm spending what, $2,000 a month on rent. Okay, now I have nothing to invest. Okay, wow, but I'm out of my parents' basement. I'm so cool now. Like, no difference.
No, apparently I was looking at some like macro investment stuff, but like a lot of the economy stuff really favors older generations. Like the millennials are quite screwed by the especially by real estate. It's really hard to get it. Like it's so expensive if you didn't invest in real estate early on, so it's kind of hard, especially in a city like Vancouver. It's really expensive. Like it's like $1 million for like a 1-bedroom house that's 90 years old. That's maybe 1,500 square feet. Like it's pretty terrible. So yeah, there's also that. But yeah, let's get into the first game, Chris. Washington, Indiana. Let's see. So we got Washington first, Chris. Hachimura marked as in. Projected starters, we got Westy, Neto, Beal, Hachimura, and Len. So yeah, we know we like Westy here, Chris. Anybody else on the Wizards?
Yeah, so I mean, this is the best game of the slate. I think we just saw it a few days ago on the 3rd of May. They combined for 295 points. So both of these teams don't play defense. Indiana just doesn't play any defense when Sabonis is at the 5. So the over-under here is 249. Next highest is 232. So quite a big difference. The thing with Washington is that we know where their production is going to come from. So we pretty much only have interest in 2 guys, Westbrook and Beal. Westbrook is 12K on FanDuel, so it's a little hard to get to him. I mean, it's possible for sure. You probably have to play guys like Stanley Johnson if you're doing that. Maybe go cheap at center with someone like Gobert instead of spending up for Jokic. So I kind of prefer the other route, spending up for Jokic. But Westbrook's right there if you want him for 12K. He needs 60 points to go 5x here. So, I mean, he's been crushing that. He has upside to go for 80 fantasy points on any given night, just because he does so much for them. But for me, I'm probably going to just play him on DK where he's 11.1K. Just easier to get to him. Scoring system fits him better. So I think he makes more sense there. And then I think we can spend down at point guard on FanDuel. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then just to get exposure to this game on FanDuel, I'm going to play Bradley Beal. I think he's 9K over there. Obviously, he doesn't do as much as Westbrook, but I still think it's the right play to play one of these guys at least. So I kind of prefer Beal on FanDuel, Westbrook on DK, because that's just how the pricing kind of fits.
Okay. Let's go over the other half here. Indiana. So we have, who do we have? We have Sumner questionable, Lamb questionable, Brogdon questionable, Turner and Jakar Sampson both marked out. Projected starters: Brogdon, Aaron Holiday, Dougie McBuckets, Brissett, and Sabonis. Any interest here, Chris, on Indiana? Let's load up the rankings, actually. Is this an important game for both teams here?
Yeah, I mean, two teams in the play-in spot. Obviously, whoever's ninth plays... Or, I mean, I think they play each other anyways, so actually I don't know if it matters if you're ninth or 10th. But yeah, it matters just because the Bulls are right behind them, so you don't want to be kind of behind.
Yeah. But yeah, who do you like here on the Pacers, Chris?
Just depends on the Brogdon news. So he's questionable. If he's out, I'm going to have interest in LeVert, Sabonis, McConnell. Those are the three main guys here always. But yeah, they're expensive. So Sabonis is 10-6 here in this matchup on FanDuel. He's 10-5 on DK. LeVert is the cheaper guy, so he's 9-1 on DK, 8-6 on FanDuel. So probably going to be interested in LeVert if Brogdon ends up being ruled out. I'm not sure what's going to happen. He hasn't played in over like 8 days. So, I mean, he's been questionable every day, so I assume he's pretty close. So I wouldn't be surprised if he plays here today. If he does play, I'm probably not going to be too interested in them in cash games, but obviously we know this is a great matchup, so I have a lot of interest in tournaments, regardless of if Brogdon plays or not. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. This is the first game of the slate, obviously, so we will know in time. But, I mean... just a really good matchup here. So we saw LeVert go for 50 last time against them. Sabonis went for 70. So they have all the upside in the world here. So if you want to play them in tournaments, I have no problems with it.
Okay. Let's load up the next one. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. About the housing thing, Hasty says, even with 175K a year, no kids, still can't buy a house in Vancouver. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like it's not like the salaries, wages went up. Like it's hard to get a house here. It's quite expensive. Rondo says, all jokes aside, how about Rondo calling Harold baby when Boogie was posting him up? Did you see that? I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I saw that. I sent it to him.
Can we pull it up here?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can find it. Let me see.
If you can. And then do you believe this, Chris, out of Aiden? He's saying he's 200 pounds, 6 feet.
No, he's definitely trolling.
Okay. But yeah, next game, while you load that up, if you can find it, I'll just go over it. We got Detroit against...
Yeah, wait.
Oh,
I linked it to you, so just before we get into that, we can just watch it.
Nice.
The offense and defense, they got him for the playoffs, but he is part of the things they think that the Clippers were missing a year ago with his mind, his focus. Cousins inside, bashing his way.
Where is he?
Inside, he got the two. Learning the offense and defense.
Where's who?
Rondo.
At the top of the 3-point line.
Oh, right here?
For the playoffs, but he is part of the things they think that the Clippers were missing a year ago with his mind, his focus.
Is that what he does? Is this Rondo doing Rondo things, Chris? It's funny. Yeah, Detroit, Philadelphia. Detroit Pistons, Chris Dennis Smith Jr. out. Josh Jackson out. Gruder out. Diallo out. Jeremy Grant questionable. Ellington questionable. Kojo questionable. Killian Hayes probable. Mason Plumlee probable. I mean, getting tired, Chris, of listing these Detroit guys, this list every single slate. These teams should just be able to forfeit or something. Like, we should... What were you saying? Relegation or something for the league? Well, is that the word? When there's less teams or something? Or, like, different tiers? We need to do something like that. Projected starters, Kojo, Frank Jackson, Sadiq Bey, Grant, and Plumlee. Anybody here on the Pistons that you like today, Chris?
I mean, it really depends on who they end up starting. Just a tough situation to gauge right now. Like, we have questionable tags on Grant and Joseph, who are pretty important pieces here. Plumlee is probable, so if I had to guess, they're going to play their guys. If they play their guys, I have no interest in the Pistons. Only have interest when they start resting these guys. So I'm going to assume that they're playing. But if they're out, obviously we can deal with that once it comes. Once we get the news, because this is the first game of the slate as well. So yeah, I have no interest as of now.
Okay. Let's see. T-Base says Cuz is actually so cold. He's still so nice. Post-up master. His footwork is insane. Is he still nice, Chris? Is he better? Like, is he more confident after his injury?
I mean, he was just a beast before.
Yeah, I know before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I don't know. He's not the same player. But yeah, he's very skilled. That's why I liked him a lot before. I think if he never got hurt, he would have been one of the best bigs. Like he was cooking Embiid before when he was good. So yeah, sad story.
I love watching Cousins before. He was such a tank. So wait, just about Cousins, Chris. Did his game change now? Like, is he wasn't like explosive before, was he?
I think he was explosive. Like he still was explosive. He was bigger as well. He had to lose some weight because of the injuries. Yeah, he was bigger. He was like a tank before. Now he's a little smaller, so not as dominant. He was very dominant before.
Is he still? He used to shoot a lot of threes too, right?
Yeah, he's a very good shooter.
Is he still shooting them? I really haven't watched him like super closely this year.
Yeah, but he doesn't get as many touches, so like he can shoot them, but doesn't really matter. Like, it's not like the main option on the offensive end.
Yeah. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's kind of been like ring chasing, right? Or not? I don't know if it's ring chasing, but it's kind of loud. Looking for like a role on a contender, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was on the Warriors when they were in the finals, so he was definitely. I think if he didn't get hurt, he would have. Like he tried to play through an injury in those finals. I think he tore his something earlier in those playoffs, and he was playing through it. But yeah, he was. I guess he was ring chasing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, that's enough Cousins talk. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, what else can you be doing if you used to be like really good and then you get hurt, need like a limited role? I think it's the right thing to do. Have like a smaller role but on a good team, play the team game. So I kind of like that. Yeah, Philadelphia, Chris. Over there we have Korkmaz still out. Simmons, Embiid, Curry questionable. Thankfully, this is the first game of the slate. Locks at the slate start. Projected starters: Simmons, Curry, Green, Harris, and Embiid. So yeah, the three questionable tags there, Chris. Probably pretty important, right?
Yeah. So if they play, I have no interest. If they're out, I'm gonna have interest in the bench guys who get bumps. So yeah, I'm gonna just treat it that way because I have no idea what's gonna happen here. It's a back-to-back for them. They said they want to rest their guys. I think last week. They still haven't done it, but they're listed questionable. So I don't know. Just gonna have to monitor it.
Okay. Yeah. So hard to say what to do there without knowing who's playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leave that for later. But we will get that before the slate starts, right? We're not gonna get fooled there, bamboozled, are we? By Doc?
No, we'll know.
Nice. No bamboozling today. Next up, Memphis, Toronto. So I'm assuming Toronto's just gonna tank now from now on out.
I mean, I don't know. They're still playing their guys' minutes, so it's not a bad situation for us.
Yeah, but I mean, it might be interesting to look at some of their, I guess, bench players or lesser known players at the end of the season for tournaments. Maybe that's something to look at. But yeah, Memphis first, Chris. We have Tillman probable, Grayson Allen out, Sean McBuckets, McDermott out. Projected starters: John Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, and then Jonas Valanciunas with the revenge narrative against the Raptors. So we know the Raptors did Valanciunas dirty. I think he didn't get any credit at all. He sort of laid the foundation there for the Raptors, I think. Got developed there, got traded, didn't get a ring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did him dirty. Anything that you like here, Chris? Do you like this Valanciunas revenge narrative? Can we see what he did, what damage he's done against the Raptors since?
Yeah, I mean, earlier this season he played against the Raptors. He went for 58 on FanDuel. I think he had 27 and 20. Last year he had 15 against them. So I don't know. I'm not really going to buy into it here. Maybe in tournaments you can do it. I think on DK he's a little cheaper. Actually, only $100 cheaper on DK. So he's 8K on FanDuel, 7.9 on DK. Don't mind him on tournament. I mean, in tournaments on either site, but definitely can't do it in cash games when we have guys like Jokic, Gobert, Embiid on this slate. So don't love it in cash games, like I said, but I'm fine with it in tournaments. If I'm going to play anyone here, it's going to be John Morant on FanDuel, where he's 7.1K. DraftKings, he's 8.4, so just way too expensive. But I think on FanDuel, where he's 7.1, I think that's an interesting price tag. They're obviously trying to win. He's getting more minutes now. Last 3 games, he's gotten 37 plus. Before that, he was hovering around 30, 32. So they're giving him more minutes now. So that's just more opportunity for him to show his upside. Toronto doesn't play great defense. So I do like John Morant on FanDuel. He's going to be my favorite play here overall. But yeah, I don't know if I need it in cash games because we have Flynn, we have Augustine once again. But I think he's a really solid play tonight.
Okay. Toronto side, Aaron Baines, questionable. Utah, Watanabe, questionable. Anunoby, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Chris Boucher, and Paul Watson. 5 guys are out. Projected starters, Malachi Flynn, Gary Trent, Stanley Johnson, Siakam, and Khem Birch. So, I mean, VanVleet, Lowry are out, Chris. Who, OG Anunoby out. The only guy they're playing that they could rest is Siakam here. So, seems like they're tanking. Like, they don't care anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, the good thing is, in this situation, they still play their main guy a lot of minutes. So, they're still going to play Siakam 40 plus here, I would assume. Maybe not 40, maybe like 38 plus. But, I mean, when he's the lone guy there, he's going to get a ton of usage. He's going to have the keys to the team here. So I'm going to love Siakam here. I think he's going to be a lock for me on FanDuel, especially. Still a really solid play on DK. So he's 9K on DK, 8.9 on FanDuel. So similar price tags. But I mean, I like him on both sides. So I'm probably going to try to get there. He's the guy up top for me, but we have a ton of interest in the value pieces here as well. Gary Trent, another guy here. He's 5.5 on DK. FanDuel, he's 5K. So just an absolute lock on FanDuel in this situation. We saw it last game. He got the start. That was his first game back. He played 36 minutes, 35 fantasy points. So I think he's just way too cheap here. I think you got to play him. And then you have Malachi Flynn as well. Flynn is 5.3 on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's 4.7. So really good price tag for him in this situation without Lowry and VanVleet. We've seen him start in the past. He's always performed well in his starts. So I think he's just a lock for me, especially on DK where he's cheaper. And I do kind of want to get there on FanDuel just as a solid value piece. So he's going to be the guy for me as well. And then the last guy I'll mention is going to be Stanley Johnson. He's always more of a last piece guy just because he doesn't really produce too well. But he's still very cheap. He's 3.6 on FanDuel, DK 3.7. So a little bit better price tag on FanDuel. But I don't mind him as a last piece. I'm not going to go out of my way to jam him in just because he's usually an exercise guy. But I'm fine with him if you land there, if you need it for value.
Okay. With the Siakam situation, Chris, do you think that could change any game now? Because, I mean, there's like 4 games left for them. I think the last game against the Wizards kind of did them in with any hopes of the play-in. So I feel like the games have less and less meaning. Like there was a significant drop-off between this game and last game they played. And I feel like that drop-off becomes more and more as the season progresses with the last 4 games or whatever. So do you have any concerns about that or no? Not really.
I mean, sure, but I'm just going to try to, I'm going to just do what they've done, like follow what they've done in the past. They've been playing, all these games have been meaningless pretty much. They've been down like 4 or 5 games from the 10th seed. So, they've been playing him a lot of minutes, so I'm going to keep playing them until they kind of stop doing that.
Yeah. Hasty says, struggle builds character, boys. Paying your own way and being independent is its own reward. And then he also says, assuming we all get to make investments in our early 20s is mystifying to me. Do you have a rebuttal?
Yeah, I agree with that. But you can put yourself in a better position. Like, you can put yourself in a better position without having to allocate $25,000 a year in rent. So I see what you're saying, but everyone's different. Like, you can't just generalize everyone, put them all together, and put them all in the same pool and say, oh, if you do this, you're bad. If you do this, you're good. Because like you have people who pay rent who struggle and then they become nothing, and you have vice versa. So
I'll also say, like, I feel like the rent prices before, when Hasty was in his 20s, significantly different than they are today, compared to, like, relatively to what you can make, let's just say with, like, minimum wage versus now. Like, it's quite expensive. Like, it's probably going to be, I don't know, if you're getting minimum wage here in Vancouver, $2,000 of rent a month, that's probably like over 70%, over 70% of your disposable income at least. So it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, but at least if you're getting minimum wage, you build that character, you get the struggle experience. So I guess you put yourself in a good position in your 30s. Is that how it works?
I mean, I feel like there's ways to build character without shooting yourself in the foot financially.
I mean, you have to struggle. I mean, that McDonald's job builds that character that you need to be successful in your 30s.
You think that?
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be right.
Yeah. Let's see. When I made minimum wage, I had roommates like everyone else. I mean, yeah, I'm not against that at all. I just think there's different ways to build character as well. But I can also see, like, at the same time, people who live with their parents, maybe you're not as motivated to work as hard. Maybe you get complacent. So that's the other end of it as well. But I don't think it doesn't have to go that way if you are focused. So there's different ways about it.
Yeah, that was my entire point was you can't just generalize everyone together. Obviously, there's scenarios both ways that make sense.
Yeah. Let's see. Brent says, without struggle, there is no progress. Agree 100% with that. Yeah, Dinda's in here. Let's go into the next one, Chris. San Antonio, Portland. Let's go over the Spurs first. Trey Lyles, questionable for them. Projected starters, DeJounte Murray, Devin Vassell, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Silent R on Poeltl. Chris went over that last time. Who do you like here on the Spurs?
Yeah, I don't like too much here. It's a back-to-back for them, so they could rest guys. Obviously, I don't think that's going to be the case because they're in the play-in tournament right now. I think they're actually... What seed are they in? 7th? 8th?
Let's pull it up. 10?
Yeah, 10. So, I mean, I think they're gonna make the play-in tournament at least here. 'Cause I don't think the Pelicans are gonna catch up to them. So
Well, they quit, didn't they?
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they still could rest their guys here, but I don't think they're going to. At the same time, I don't really have too much interest here. It's a decent matchup against the Blazers. Just personally, I don't really love targeting the Spurs when I don't have to. So maybe, like, I don't know, Patty Mills for value on DK. He's the minimum, but he hasn't been playing great. Obviously, DeJounte and DeMar are the main guys up top, but we just have other spend-ups that I'd rather get to. Maybe Keldon Johnson, but I don't know. I don't love the Spurs here.
Okay. Let's go over Portland. Carmelo Anthony listed as out for them. And then projected starters, Lillard, McCollum, Norm Powell, Rocco, and Yusuf Nurkic. Anything on the Blazers side, Chris?
No, not really. Maybe like CJ McCollum. I played him yesterday. He didn't look great, honestly. Like, just I don't know. He didn't look too good. Like, we know it's the Dame, and we know it's Dame's team. So I don't know. I don't really want to play these guys, honestly. I just don't. I'm not too interested in this game here.
Okay. How come you don't like this game on the Portland side?
I mean, who do we spend up for here? Like, who would you play here?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess tournaments. What about Lillard, McCollum? They're always viable for tournaments, aren't they?
Yeah, but if you're spending up, why wouldn't you just spend up for Westbrook, Curry, Jokic? You know, like, I just don't really see the point here. Maybe CJ on FanDuel for 7.5K, but I'd rather get to Beal for 1,500 more.
Okay, fair. Let's go to the next game, OKC against Golden State. So Thunder side first, Muscala out, Pokusevski out, Dort is questionable. Projected starters: Theo Maledon against Dort, Baisley, Roby, and Moses Brown. Who do you like there, Chris?
So I mean, we're going through all these ugly teams. I'm not playing any OKC guys here. Just rotation is way too unpredictable. Played Dort last time. He played 20 minutes, got into foul trouble, but that game blew out. So yeah, there's no one here from this side that I'm going to play most likely, unless we get Dort out and someone's starting like Svi, then that would be interesting. But this is the last game of the slate, so I'm probably not going to play anyone here.
Yeah, there's some ugly spreads here tonight.
Yeah, we have two pretty bad ones with Utah, Houston, and obviously this game here, Golden State, OKC.
Let's go over the Warriors. So over there, Eric Pascal out. Kelly Oubre still out, and Damian Lee still out. Projected starters: Curry, Wiggins, Bazemore, Green, and Kevon Looney. Anything on the Warriors side here, Chris? I think they're favored by, 14?
Yeah, they're favored by 14. Curry is the only guy that I'd really want here if I'm playing someone, just because, I mean, I said it last time, it was the same matchup. If they blow them out, it's going to be because of Curry. Curry got 50 last time in the blowout. If it stayed close, he would have probably gone for 60, 65, just because OKC isn't great defensively. But if you're playing someone here, I'm fine with Curry on FanDuel for 10-2. DraftKings, I think he's a little bit more expensive at 10-8, so I wouldn't do it there. But he's the only guy that I would play here if I am playing a Warrior, which I don't really want to do. I'd probably rather get up to Westbrook if I'm playing Curry for 10-2. That's kind of a tough decision there, but I'm probably just going to go double cheap at point guard with Flynn and Augustine on FanDuel.
Okay. Let's go into the next one. Let me load up Houston, Utah. Willie Hoop said, agree, fade OKC. David's asking thoughts on Kevon Looney for value on DraftKings for tournaments. And then what do you think about Dwight Howard if Embiid is ruled out, Chris?
Okay, so just keep it one at a time. So first question was Looney on DK in tournaments?
Yes.
4-3, I'm fine with it, I guess, but I don't love it. Like, he doesn't give you the upside you need in tournaments. I think he's a better last piece cash game kind of guy just because he always seems to get like 18 to 20 fantasy points. I don't think he really has room to go any higher than that. So if you need a value guy there, maybe like Paul Millsap for 3-8. He has some upside against the Nets. Obviously, the Nets give up huge games. Millsap is starting now. So maybe him. Other value pieces here in other positions. I think you need DJ Augustine. You probably already have him, though. But yeah, I don't love Looney in tournaments as a last piece just because he doesn't have the upside for a ceiling game.
And then the Howard question, if Embiid is out.
Yeah, Howard would be a great play, especially on DK. He's only 4K, so he would be an absolute lock over there. FanDuel, he's 5-3, so he would be a really, really good play on FanDuel as well. Probably a lock, I would say.
Okay. Dennis says Howard's going to get in a fight unless he's on his meds.
Who would he fight, though? Like Ben Wallace? Is Ben Wallace coming back for the Pistons?
Who is there on the Pistons to fight? Let's see.
Yeah, the thing is, they're all young guys. Like I don't know. Is Plumlee playing? He's probable, but I mean, they're probably going to rule him out for some reason.
To dodge the fight.
Yeah.
I mean, if Plumlee's in, I could see that. That'd be a good fight. Next up, Chris, Houston, Utah. Let's go over Houston. Also getting kind of tired of listing all these guys. They should go down to the G League. Sterling Brown out, Wilson out, Nwaba out, Kevin Porter out, Christian Wood out, Bradley out, Eric Gordon out, Kelly Olynyk questionable, Tate questionable, and then projected starters: Augustine, Lamb, Tate, KJ Martin Jr., and then Kelly Olynyk. Is it just time to lock in Kelly O, Chris?
He's questionable today, so it's kind of tough to do. He was pretty popular yesterday. I mean, he's crushing every night. Seems like he goes for 50 plus every night. He's a really good stocks guy as well. So, I mean, I will like him if he does play here. Just not sure if I really need him. It's kind of a tough matchup. I mean, it's a tricky situation because he's been crushing, but his price tag is up where it's like, I don't know. I don't really want to play him. I'm fine with him, though, if you do want to play him. Kind of a game log chase play, in my opinion. But yeah, he's questionable, so you kind of have to wait for that news anyways before you make a decision on that. It is a back-to-back here for them, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does sit. But yeah, my main interest here is probably going to be from DJ Augustine on both sites. He's 3.9 on FanDuel. I think he's 3.7 on DK. So both sites pricing up a little bit. Obviously, Kevin Porter Jr. is out once again, so Augustine will get the start at point guard most likely. They could pull some funny business and start someone else like Armani Brooks. If that happens, obviously we'll pivot. But yeah, he's my favorite guy right now just because we project him to start. Then we also have KJ Martin once again, or Kenyon Martin Jr., whatever his name is. He'll probably become a lock if someone like Tate is out. Tate is currently questionable. I think that matters quite a bit for Kenyon Martin Jr., so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Also, if Kelly O is out, that would be a huge bump for Martin. So a lot of injury news here that we kind of have to wait on. I'm fine with anyone here just because they're very thin. I think they have 8 guys playing right now, and 2 of those 8 are currently questionable in Tate and Olynyk. So we'll have to keep an eye out for the news. But all these guys are viable just because they're all going to get minutes. Lamb, didn't mention him. Brooks as well. Daquan Jeffries and House, they're probably my 2 least favorite plays here, but just kind of, I'd wait and see who they start and then go from there.
Okay. Let's go over the other half. Utah, Conley, Mitchell, and Juwan Morgan are out. Projected starters, Jingle Joe, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, George Niang, and Rudy Gobert. Any interest there, Chris? I'm guessing it's what's the spread here? 15 points? Yeah, 15 points.
Yeah, it's 15 points. Utah here is implied to score 120, so that's like the 3rd highest total on the slate, I believe. So, these guys are fine as last pieces. We saw Bogey go for, 60 fantasy points yesterday. He played 40 minutes, got 50 real-life points. So he was on fire. He's 5.7K on FanDuel, so I don't mind him there as a last piece. I think he's a decent play. He's just been very consistent ever since Conley and Mitchell have gone down, getting 27 plus fantasy points a night, and that gives you 5x value if he goes for that. So I don't mind him on FanDuel for this price tag. I think he's a decent play over here. And then DK, maybe Ingles for 6.9. We also have Royce O'Neal, who's cheap, 4.6K. He hasn't been playing too well recently, Royce O'Neal, but I'm still fine with him in this matchup against Houston. Obviously, it's likely to blow out, but still, they don't play any defense. So I think we could see some big games here from some Utah guys.
Okay. Hasty says Isaiah Stewart would fight.
Yeah, maybe. That guy's huge. I think he's 19 years old, and he's just huge.
What are his stats?
What do you mean, what are his stats?
Like how tall? How much does he weigh?
Oh, I don't know. He's huge. He looks bigger than some other guys, like some veterans.
Let's see. Beef stew. Did you know that?
Yeah, beef stew.
Where is he? Is he massive?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he looks huge. What the fuck? What the hell? Anyway, let's go to the next one. Last game of the slate, Chris. Nets guys against the Nuggets guys. Nets guys first. James Harden out. Maybe he'll be back for a few games this season. Chris Chiozza also out. Projected starters: Kyrie Irving, Landry Shamet, KD, Joe Harris, and Blake Griffin. Anybody here, Chris, on the Nets that you like?
No, so I don't love this side. Both sides kind of priced KD and Kyrie up to over 10K. So I'm not too interested in the Nets here. If I'm paying up, I'd rather go to Westbrook, Jokic on the other side of this game, Beal even. Obviously, we have Westbrook, like I said. So I'm not too interested here in cash games. Maybe in tournaments you can pay up for someone here. Kyrie, he's been crushing his last 2 games, so he could be interesting. But yeah, my interest is going to come from the other side of this game.
Okay. We got Broggy out, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'll kind of wait and see how projections update for this. But McConnell, he's around 6'2" on both sites. So I mean, it's kind of where he should be, in my opinion. He's not getting the start. Sumner is back now, so I don't know. It's going to be a tricky situation just because Sabonis and LeVert are pretty expensive, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone like maybe Sumner or Aaron Holiday start popping a little bit. I think Sumner on DraftKings is 4.2, Holiday is 4.3, so they could be interesting here. And then maybe LeVert. I'm not sure about Sabonis in cash games just because he's so expensive.
Okay. Reigns says beef stew goat.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's really good.
What's his upside, Chris?
In terms of what?
Like as a basketball player, in terms of development, like what kind of player could he be like?
Probably like a Ben Wallace. I don't know. It might be a lazy answer because they played on the Pistons.
Okay. Hoops says, I need a small forward on FanDuel under 4-1. Who do you think is the best potential upside? And then he says, Danwell House, perhaps. We can put the filter
FanDuel?
up. Yeah. Should I put it up here?
Yeah, sure. I don't love House just because he's playing hurt. They're not playing him a lot of minutes. If he's starting for whatever reason, then I would have more interest in him. But I think he's playing hurt, so I don't think they want to give him too many minutes. He said small forward, right?
Yeah, let me go there.
Yeah, so I don't really love this range. Probably Stanley Johnson as the last piece for 3.6. Don't want to play Joe Harris there. But yeah, I'd probably say Stanley Johnson and then try to spend up somewhere else.
Okay. What else? Rain says that's what us Pistons fans compare him to.
Really? Yeah. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah. Now we have a Pistons fan in here. I don't think we had one before, did we?
Oh, we've had a few. I mean, Dakota, he's from Michigan. Brandon, he's from Michigan. So we have a few in here.
That's true. Yeah, Denver side, Chris, Monte Morris, Will Barton, both marked as doubtful. Zeke Najee is questionable. Projected starters, Facundo, Campazzo, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. What do you make of these Nuggets, guys, Chris?
Yeah, so Jokic, he looks like a great play to me on both sites. He's 11-2 on FanDuel. DraftKings, he is 10-9. We get this matchup against the Nets that we always love to target. I feel like studs always go off against the Nets. I would assume this is a national TV game. Let me just check real quick. So it's on NBA TV. So it's not like a huge national TV game, but still, I love the matchup here for Jokic. I think he's one of my favorite studs to spend up for on this slate. So I like him a lot here. He's my favorite Nugget. And then we have some other value guys here, I think. Paul Millsap is 3.9 on FanDuel. DraftKings, he is 3.8. So I think he's an interesting cheap guy. He's been starting, like I said earlier in the show. Minutes have been around 26. So I think 26 minutes here against the Nets he can definitely do enough to pay off this price tag. Only needs like 20 fantasy points. I think we project him for like 23 on both sites, maybe 24. So he's looking like a solid value piece. Aaron Gordon as well, 4.1 on FanDuel. That's like a cheap price tag, but he hasn't been playing too well, so it makes sense. But he's there. I think he's a sneaky tournament upside guy that you can get for his price. Because we know the ceiling he has. Obviously, it's tough to hit that when you're playing alongside Jokic. But I think he's a sneaky value guy in tournaments. And then last guy I mentioned here is going to be Michael Porter Jr., specifically on FanDuel, where they priced him way down to 7K for some reason. DraftKings 8.7, so not really a play there. But I think on FanDuel for 7K, that's just way too cheap. He had 2 down games against the Lakers and then the Knicks, so they started pricing him down. Then yesterday he was 7.3K against the Jazz, so a better matchup than the Knicks and Lakers. He went for 45 fantasy points. Now he gets the Brooklyn Nets for 7K, so I think I'm going to definitely play Michael Porter Jr. here on FanDuel for only 7K. I think that's way too cheap.
Okay. Javante is asking your thoughts on DeAndre Jordan.
Did he say DJ or did he say DeAndre Jordan or what did he say?
He said D Jordan. Is there another Jordan?
Oh no, because if he said DJ, I would assume he meant Augustine. But yeah, DeAndre Jordan, I'm not really interested unless he's starting. Could be interesting in tournaments, but Yeah, definitely not a cash game play.
Okay. Yeah, let's go over. Hasty says Ben was also his pick for the comparison for beef stew. Yes. Let's go over 3 pillars, Chris. 3 key plays. 3 thrown. Whatever. I don't know. We need trigger in here. I forgot the other ones, but 3 key plays here, Chris. Overall play, value play, and tournament play of the day. Overall play here on FanDuel first. Safest guy, cash tournaments. Who's your guy there?
I'll go with Spicy P here. 8.9K, power forward, so I like him a lot.
Okay, and then value, who do you have for FanDuel?
DJ Augustine for 3.9K.
Okay, and then tournament play on FanDuel, who do you have there?
I'll say Kelly Olynyk just because he's been crushing. He's questionable right now, so maybe that's going to reduce his ownership a little bit. But yeah, he's been just absolutely crazy recently.
What if he sits? Who'd your fallback be?
Probably then you could jam in more Houston guys. So I don't know if he's going to sit. I don't think he's going to sit here. But I mean, you can jam in a bunch of Houston guys if that happens.
Okay. DK, overall play of the day there. Who's your guy?
DraftKings, give me Westbrook just because he's always easier to get to there. Scoring system fits him better, so I'll go with him.
Okay, and then value play, who do you have?
Value play, I'll say DJ Augustine once again. And by the way, this is assuming that Augustine is starting on both sides.
Got it. Good disclaimer there. Tournament play of the day, who do you have?
I'll say Kelly Olynyk once again. I was gonna maybe say Karis LeVert, but I'll keep it the same on both sides and say Kelly O.
Okay, let's go over your cores. Go over some construction here. So you got Spicy P, Trent Jr., Augustine. Why do you like these guys, Chris?
I mean, just kind of talked about them. Like we have Siakam here, who's my favorite overall play, 8-9. They're not playing Lowry. They're not playing OG. They're not playing Van Vliet. So he's the main guy. Same thing for Trent. That's the reason I like him. And then Augustine, no Kevin Porter Jr. He started at point guard yesterday. I assume he's going to start at point guard once again today. So that's why I have him.
Okay. And then which ones do you want to go over?
First 2, as always.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have DJ Augustine in both. Obviously, he's in my core. Trent in both, 5K in my core as well. And then Bogey here, 5-7. He's not in my core, but I think he's a fine last piece. Just a solid play in my opinion. Good matchup against Houston. Only concern is obviously the blowout. But if they can keep it close somehow, which they actually did yesterday against the Bucks, Bogey should crush here for 5-7. So I like him a lot. If they blow them out, I still think he hits his floor. So I think he's a pretty safe play. Millsap, 3-9, last piece value guy. I'm fine with that in a matchup against the Nets. And then spending up for Jokic up top, I think that makes a lot of sense here on FanDuel. So I like that. And then we have a 3v3 here between Flynn, Beal, Porter versus Curry, McCollum, Stanley Johnson. I think the first side is very obvious here. I don't want to play Stanley Johnson. Don't love playing CJ. Curry has the blowout concerns. And the first side gets us Flynn with no Lowry, no Van Vliet. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Beal in the great match against Indiana. And then Porter Jr. for 7K, who I think is probably $1,500 too cheap here.
Okay. DK, let's go over those. Deshaun says, with no context, maybe he's a little bit behind when we're talking about the Detroit fans, but he just says, I'm a LeBron fan.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are LeBron fans. He's been letting us down recently.
LeBron?
Yeah, he's been letting the fans down.
Is his legacy on the line right now, Chris?
I don't think it's on the line, but it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, so Flynn here is the core. Westy is the core. You said easier to get Westy in on DK with all the forward guard util position slots that you have there. Flynn here as well. Do you want to go over why you like these guys quickly?
Yeah, so I mean, Westbrook, you said it. Flynn, He's a little cheaper here. You can fit him into different positions, not just point guard like FanDuel. Even though I picked him on FanDuel, it's easier to get him here as well. Cheaper. And then Augustine 3-7, who's a lock if he does start.
Okay. Which ones you want to go over? First two, as always.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have Westbrook here in both. He's in the core. Siakam in both. He's not in the core here, but 9K, still a good price tag for him. So I do like him here. And then we have Flynn in both. He's in the core. And then we have Augustine in both as well. He's in the core. So I think we have a 3v3 here. Yeah, him and then Jokic. So we have Trent, Ingles, Martin versus Mills, Stanley Johnson, and Jokic. So this is kind of stars and scrubs. Usually in these stars and scrubs situations, I always go with the stars and scrubs side. So I do like the Jokic side here more. Trent is a really good play at 5'5", but I don't love Ingles for 6'9" in that game that has blowout concerns. On FanDuel, we have Bogey for 5'7", which is a better price tag. I think Ingles for 7K is where he should be. If the game blows out, I'm not sure he can get there. Although the first side will be more interesting if Tate is out once again, just because Martin is in this team. I think Martin's a great play. If Tate is out once again, should see 40-plus minutes. He's active, so I do like him a lot. But I'm sure we can probably figure out a late swap if that does happen, even by going the second team. Gets his Patty Mills for 3K, which I don't love, but he does have some upside, so I don't mind going there. Stanley Johnson 3-7, fine with him as the last piece, and then I love Jokic, so that's why I like the second side more.
Okay. Some people followed up to Deshaun's comment. Rain said LaFraud. Hasty says he's just showing his true colors. Willie says LeBlow hard. He also says LeBron hates USA but loves China. Why does he like China so much? I've never actually looked into it. I've heard people say it.
That's where he gets all his money from.
China? What about America? He plays for a league in America.
Yeah, but he gets a lot of his money from China.
Maybe he should go play in the Chinese basketball league.
Yeah, he would probably make crazy money there. I mean, maybe he'll do it later. I think he's all about the money.
Yeah, actually, right after I said that, I just realized that it could be a really good idea, because he could definitely play there up until he's like 60 if he wanted to, 70 even, I bet.
Yeah, he'd be royalty there as well.
Yeah. Sean says, damn, so much hate for the GOAT.
I'm a LeBron fan. I mean, just he hasn't been... Something's off recently.
Is it? Like, on the court or off the court? I don't really follow, so I'm not sure.
I just don't like the comments he's been making. I mean, we talked about it past couple of shows.
Have there been any new ones?
Not that I know of, but I mean, saying the ankle thing and then saying...
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what he said last. Something about... Oh, yeah, the play-in tournament thing. That's the thing that I didn't like.
Yeah. Got Royal King in here just in time to request the single game slate overview. So we'll do that. Steven says, you must be young, Deshaun, since you think James is the GOAT. I guess you don't know about the man named Michael Jordan, the best to ever play the game.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah, if you're younger, if you're around my age, I think most people will say LeBron is the GOAT. But if you're older, probably, I don't know, in your 30s, probably say MJ is the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even feel comfortable saying that because I haven't seen everyone play. That's the thing. I've just seen like a small blip in NBA history, that's all. So there's a lot of homework to be done if you want to say something like that. But yeah, which one should we go over, Chris? Memphis, Toronto, Actually, that's honestly not a bad one.
No, Brooklyn, Denver is the big one here.
Okay. Hasty says, learn your history, kids. Watch old games, get informed. Do you think Hasty's watched old games?
Yeah, I mean, he's been around for a while, so probably.
Yeah. New Edition says, what's up? What's the tournament plays for FanDuel? I'm real late. Who'd you have there?
I like LeVert a lot. I like Kelly O.
If Kelly O is out, you like more Houston guys too, right?
Yeah, all those Houston guys will become great plays.
Yeah. David Cruz says best ever Wilt.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen him play, but I've heard that as well, obviously.
Yeah, I did some homework on Wilt after, I think it was Dinda brought some stuff up about him. He looks like a beast, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to compare because it's different era, different play. Like, people play differently too. Like, the game looks different. I don't even think it has to do with like the rules or like the traveling or whatever Hasty would say, things like that, like the old school heads. Like the extra, I don't know, whatever people say about that. Like, just the way people move, it looks different. Off ball, on ball. Just the athletes look completely different now. So it's weird as well. I don't know. You've noticed that, right, Chris?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you see it as well in like other sports, like NHL. They skate different. People just move different. BC's asking if we saw the Boban block. I have not. Have you, Chris? Can you pull it up? You can probably get it.
I don't know if I can find a random Boban block, but no, I didn't see that. I'll try to find it.
Brent says Paul Pierce is the true legend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that one, but legend, very, very subjective in the NBA, so could be.
Yeah. Hoop says 7'1" Wilt was NCAA high jump king at Kansas University. Yeah, I saw that one too. Dinda says China sells slaves known as Uyghurs' hair on the black market. LeBron would get a lifetime plug supply. Yeah. Do you know about any of that, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know if we should get into that, but I didn't see the Boban thing. I couldn't find it on Twitter.
Yeah. I don't know what I just read either. So, but yeah, this game, Chris, Brooklyn, Denver, Jokic MVP, KD MVP, Kyrie here as well. Most likely Jokic is the leading. I mean, you could see KD or Kyrie outscoring Jokic, right?
Yeah, it could be any of these three. Right now, projections say Jokic 1, KD 2, Kyrie 3, so I think that ownership will follow that. So I think if you just go Kyrie at MVP, you can make yourself pretty different.
Yeah. So I guess that's the move there. Let's see. Hasty says, when you poop your pants in the finals, you are a legend. Talking about Paul Pierce. Sean says, I know MJ, but I've never seen the man outside the grandfather VCR. Sorry, my goat is James.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to pull out the VCR, VHS. Is it VHS or VCR? What is it? What's the difference?
VHS, I thought.
Yeah, VHS. What's VCR? VCR.
Video player? Oh, it's the machine.
Yeah.
VHS is what you put in it.
So they go together. Yeah, so yeah, you got to pull out the VHS, the VCR to get the MJ tapes and the Wilt tapes.
Yeah. I have no idea what Dinda said. I'm going to look that up after the show. You don't know anything about that, do you, Chris?
I might know a thing or two about it, but I don't know if we need to go into that here.
Okay. Seeing some other comments here about it from David Correa. Brent's laughing. Hasty's laughing. I don't know what's going on. New Edition says, will you ever go over GPP only to see what it shows when you optimize lineups like you do for cash, Chris?
Well, I mean, in tournaments, you kind of have to build out a story for your lineup. So what we just said with Kyrie being the high scorer here, so we would put Kyrie at the MVP and then build from there. And then you could see if you don't like, or if you like other things, if you don't like what it's giving you, then you could change it more. Same for these normal slates. Like, let's say you think, I don't know, Kelly O is going to go for 55 once again. He's only 8K, so if he goes for 55, you're way ahead of the rest of the field. So you can build that and then kind of see what else it gives you and build around that. So it's with tournaments, it's all up in the air. There's a bunch of different ways you can go.
Yeah. He says VCR plays VHS tapes as opposed to beta tapes. And then Solo says, you guys are too young, so young. Yeah, I know what a cassette is. I've had a cassette. Like I even had like the portable cassette. I had like the portable CD player as well.
Floppy
Had it all.
disk.
Huh?
Floppy disk.
Oh yeah,
in
I
the
know my
computer.
floppy disks as well. Floppy disks. I know my dial-up internet. I know that, like the ringing sound. I can't use the phone at the same time. I know my stuff, some of it. 8-track. I know there's a website called 8tracks. I don't know if it's still up. I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm guessing that's. Do you know what an 8-track is, Chris? I know this website here. But what is an 8-track? Is that a? I've never seen that. Have you, Chris?
No, I don't know what that is, but I know what a cassette is.
Is a cassette different? Is the cassette the 8-track killer? Did the cassette kill the 8-track? I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I mean, it says it right there. When did cassette tapes replace 8-track?
Yeah. I mean, this site makes more sense now. 8tracks. It's a good site for some playlists, curated playlists. So check that out, guys. Yeah, I guess that did kill it. Walkman boys stand up. Yeah, I think we had a Walkman. New Edition says, thanks guys. Hayes, Russell must play. He destroyed Indy last 2 outings. 12K is a lot though.
I think he's a must play on DK. FanDuel, it's more of a question. Like, you're probably going to get him in cash games at 30% owned. Tournaments probably around the same thing just because of his upside. Definitely not a must in FanDuel, but he's viable for sure.
Yeah. T-Bay says, YouTube to MP3. That was my back in the day. I'm so old. Yeah.
I know what he's talking about, yeah.
T-Bay is an old timer for sure. Hasty says, my dad had a reel-to-reel in the living room. I wasn't allowed to touch it. Lols. Javante is asking if Barden's going to play. I think Barden's already ruled out. He was doubtful. Morris and Barden are officially, they're already ruled out. They were doubtful earlier, but now they're ruled out. Willie Hoops says, yo, children, 8-track tried to replace LP records.
What is LP records? That's not something I've ever heard of. We need Dinda to post some of his pictures from the basement in the Discord again.
Yeah, is it this?
The vinyl?
Final, whatever it is. Yeah, I've also heard that these sound better than like regular CDs. A lot of audiophiles love this stuff. It's like lossless audio or something, like higher quality. I think like the CD-ROM, MP3, like Spotify, all that stuff, it compresses the audio, so you actually lose out a lot of sound. But I think the vinyls did not, so they sound a lot better. Like the digital format. Obviously, it also depends on like your speaker system and I guess the player. But yeah, I don't think it compresses the audio, so you actually get better quality to this day. Yeah. What else? Yeah, that's what Steven says. Dinda says laser discs ruled for movies, same size as an LP.
Laser discs. I haven't heard of that either.
Top 3 center plays on FanDuel by tiers, Chris.
I'll say Jokic up top. Then like Kellyo. I like Kellyo if he plays. If he doesn't play, I'd say Gobert in that range. If you're going cheap, I don't think going cheap is very viable today. But maybe like, I don't know, Looney in cash games 4K, but I'd go up top.
Okay. David's asking thoughts on George Hill if he starts for Philadelphia 76ers on DK.
I mean, probably not. Like, if he's starting, he's going to be fine, I guess, in cash games. But they still have Milton there. They have Tyrese Maxey. So if Hill is starting, I don't love it, but I think he's probably pretty safe to get you like 15. So he'll probably hit his value, but I don't know if he has much upside.
Wait, Laserdisc is different than a DVD or like a CD?
It looks much bigger.
Does it? Oops.
Yeah, there was a picture next to a CD. Scroll down.
Here? They look the same, no?
Now scroll down to an actual picture.
Oh, this?
Yeah, or there was another picture lower. Yeah, right there. Down, bottom left.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, what happened? What happened, guys? World King says anything to look for on FanDuel. I was late.
Like, in terms of news, I think the Rockets guys with Olynyk and Tate, that's going to be pretty big. Obviously, Philly with Embiid and Simmons, they're both questionable. We already got Brogdon, so that's not a concern. So I think it's just the stuff I mentioned.
Okay. More media questions here, Chris. How about the floppy disks for computers? Yeah, I know those. I like those.
Yeah.
I always used to play with like this thing here, I think. Like move it like side to side.
Forth.
Did you do that? Did anyone else do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're supposed to do that, but I did that. Did anyone play this game actually? Time Command. Is it Commando? Is it on floppy disk? Time Commando. This game. Anyone here know this game? That game's awesome.
I know that game.
Yeah, it's a good game. Everyone should play this game once. Yeah. Anything else, Chris, to go over here? I think we went over all the discs, all the cassette players, vinyl records, laser discs.
No, that's it. We have the MMA slate in 10 minutes. So, I mean, last time we did this, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, same thing happened, and I shipped it. So hopefully the same thing happens today. 10 minutes to get 10K once again.
I mean, that's all you need when you have something like dfscrunch.com, which is what we've been using here on the show, guys. Check it out. If you've never tried our site, if you've never been a member, you can get a free trial automatically applied, so you don't need any coupon code or special link. Just go to our site, make your account, and then you'll get 3 days for free, 72 hours from when you sign. You'll be billed 72 hours from when you sign up. So try it out. Full access during the trial, no restrictions. Get full access to our Discord as well, so that's the place to go. Hang out, ask questions about the tool if you need any help. Ask questions about the slate, projections, anything like that. And then, yeah, like I said, you get full access to all the different sports that we have, plus all the different slates that we have for all the sports. So today there's UFC, like Chris said, in 10 minutes. We've got NHL, NBA, golf, NASCAR. I don't know what's going on this weekend, but any sport that is going on this weekend, we have it. So check it out, dfscrunch.com. Try it out for free. More than welcome to cancel before your trial is up. So you do that in, I think the site's a little slow right now, but in the sidebar here, hover over this thing here, and then, oh, it's working. And then click Account Center, and then that's how you do that. You can do it all by yourself. So yeah, that was a pretty good transition, Chris, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, other stuff, guys. YouTube. Before you guys go, if you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Helps us grow, so we appreciate that a lot. And then hit subscribe as well. Smash the bell button and the all text. That way you guys can stay up to date with our show. It makes it easier to find us. But 2.5 hours before the main slate locks every single day. Weekends included. Today's Saturday, so we'll be doing it Sunday as well. So NBA season's almost up, but we'll be doing it for the rest of the season. I think we'll be doing playoffs too. So yeah, stay up to date with that. I think that's it. Anything else, Chris? Solo says top 3 value plays tonight on FanDuel, any position.
Just sort by point per dollar. We can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Augustine, have him locked. Millsap, I wouldn't put him there. Stanley Johnson, don't love that either. I like Trent a lot. Malachi Flynn, 5'3", so probably those guys.
Okay. Today you're only getting 8 minutes to build, Chris, but more than enough. You could start building. No. I'll wrap it up.
I've been doing it while we've been talking about the discs and stuff,
okay,
stuff like that.
That's good. Let's see. Hasty, best tool in the game is a printer. Solo said paying out for point guard on FanDuel tonight is the way to go.
I like going cheap with Flynn and Augustine, assuming Augustine is starting. But I mean, when you have Westbrook on the slate, paying up is always viable.
Yeah, there's just so many good comments here today. I just want to go over them quickly. Deshaun says pager. I miss mine. Yeah, we've also had the pager. That's another one.
So, like a walkie-talkie.
You just get buzzed. It's like you just get a buzz, and then it's like you get shocked, and then you know you have to do something. I think it's like a handicapped SMS. Brent says, thanks to the history of music tonight, guys. Only with the Crunch Squad, of course. We'll go off topic here all the time. And then last one, Chris here. Willie Hoop says, Chris, you look like a young Bob Dylan with that black shirt.
Bob Dylan. Let me see.
You know Bob Dylan, you just don't know what he looks like, right?
No, I don't know Bob Dylan.
I mean, I know Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I got the FanDuel shirt today, so I mean it's kind of faded, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yes. Yeah, let's wrap it up, Chris. 7 minutes for you, 6 minutes to do UFC. I'll do mine as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate all the comments. As always, we'll be in the Discord, so if you guys have more questions, come hang out there. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and good luck today, guys.